The total government spending is represented in this rectangle. The consumer surplus increases from this triangle to this triangle, and the producer surplus increases from this triangle to this triangle, and the welfare loss is illustrated here. And in this video, I'll be explaining the subsidy diagram. Simply. As we all know, the free market is allocative efficient. So this is when demand intersects with supply. The consumer and producer surplus is maximized, so there is no welfare loss. Hence why allocative efficiency is achieved. Firstly, we are going to look at the mechanics of a subsidy and how it affects government spending. When a subsidy is given to a producer, this will lower the production cost of every unit produced. This incentivizes producers to produce more, therefore shifting S1 to S2 plus sub. And the result of this is that quantity will increase from Q1 to Q2. Similar to a tax, the subsidy will affect both the producer and the consumer. Imagine this red line to be the per unit subsidy for every unit produced, and let's say this is $5. And we place this $5 subsidy in the new equilibrium, which is demand which intersects with S2 plus sub. Now we know that the price falls for the consumer from PE to PC. This is because as price falls, there is a movement down along the existing demand curve, increasing the quantity demanded from Q1 to Q2. So the consumer benefit of the subsidy is the distance between PE and PC. Let's put some numbers on this to further illustrate this. Say the subsidy was $5, and the distance between PE to PC, which is the consumer benefit of the subsidy, is $2. This means that consumers will get to buy this product for $2 cheaper. As quantity supplied is currently sitting at Q2, and according to the law of supply, we know that a higher price will increase quantity supplied due to higher levels of profit. So in order to encourage suppliers to make the quantity of Q2, a price of PP will have to be paid. So if we know the subsidy is $5 in total and consumers are buying the products for $2 cheaper, this means that the distance between PP and PE is $3. So producers are receiving $3 additional per unit of output to achieve the quantity of Q2. So the purple box here illustrates the total government spending. We can calculate this by taking the per unit subsidy of $5. This is the distance between PP and PC. And then we multiply this by the new quantity of Q2. Now moving on to the consumer and producer surplus for a subsidy. For the original consumer surplus, this is the maximum price that consumers are willing to pay. I'm going to call this P max, minus PE, which is the price that consumers actually pay, multiplied by Q1 divided by 2. And with the subsidy, you can see in the dark green area of the triangle, this is the increase in consumer surplus, which is P max minus PC, multiplied by the new quantity of Q2 divided by 2. And the same goes for the producer surplus. This is the price that producers are willing to sell their products into the market. I'm going to call this P min. And the price of PE is what they actually sell for. So the calculation for the producer surplus here is PE minus P min multiplied by the original quantity, which is Q1 divided by 2. And as you can see, the producer surplus has increased, which is represented in dark yellow. So as you can see here, that the producers and the consumers gain a surplus. However, a welfare loss is now created. If you remember from a few slides ago, the total government spending is this blue box here. Although producers are getting paid more at PP and consumers get more value as they are paying less at PC, but the problem here is that government spending has exceeded the gain in welfare. So let me explain where the problems lie. can you see this top part of the triangle in the welfare loss? Every unit created after Q1 is going to cost more due to the law of supply. And in the bottom section of the welfare loss, consumers are valuing every product made after Q1 at a lower price. So very simply put, every unit after Q1, the cost to make these units get more expensive, and consumers are only willing to buy these additional units at a lower price. And since that the government covers the gap with taxpayer money, society ends up paying more for these units than they are worth. This creates the welfare loss. Here is an analogy. Hypothetically, you are selling lemonade at school. You are selling this lemonade for $5 and students are willing to pay $5. But the school steps in and gives you $3 extra so you can make more lemonade. And on top of that, the school also gives the students a $2 coupon so they can buy your lemonade for cheaper. Now, the price you charge and the price that the students actually pay no longer match. So this mismatch shows how subsidies can make the market much less efficient. Although more lemonade has been made and more lemonade has been purchased, but this was only possible when the school stepped in to give the incentives for both producers and consumers. I hope that helped. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.